So, first things first, guys. How are you?
All good, man. All good. A little bit tired, but all good, man.
In the ADE circumstances, we're doing pretty alright.
Yeah.
Is it fun to have this kind of event in your own country? To have it in your
Yeah, of course. It's a special week. It's something you cannot really compare to anything else because it's like 24 hours of things going on, and we know like most of the people, so it's running into a lot of friends from all different countries, running into our Dutch DJ friends who we basically rarely see because everybody's always on the road.
Sure.
And it's fun as well to like educate some people who are doing panels for ADE next, giving like producer lessons and stuff. So it's a nice combination of like seeing friends, doing business, teaching some things. It's a special but fun week.
Okay. Well, before we talk about the music that you've recently been releasing, I'd like to go back quickly. Do you remember the first time you saw him?
Yeah. I remember really good. It was 2007.
Yep.
We were both solo DJs. I used to play like more techno kind of stuff and had like gigs here and there, but I was kind of tired of the sound, so I switched to house music. A friend of mine who got me into the house music hooked me up with a gig in our hometown. Really super small, bad venue, but he paid like 50 euros, so I was up for it. So I came into the venue and there was nobody there. No one single person. Except for him, because he had to play before me.
Okay. Yeah.
So he was playing in an empty venue with me in the corner, like watching like this.
I did a warm-up set for the air in the space.
Yeah, he did a warm-up set for me. So I played afterwards, and the next day I got a message from him on a Dutch social media site back then called Hives, which is dead by now. It's a long time ago, 2007. And he said like, yo, your sound was really cool. And I was thinking the same, like, yeah, the guy before me, he played a cool set. So we decided to meet up. He came to my parents' house back then. So we went to the basement where I had my little studio and we experimented a bit and we made like a small track for fun, but it was a cool combination of both our styles. And we put it on our MySpace, and like a week later it had like 1,000 plays, which was a lot for back then. And big DJ started playing it. So we were like, whoa, what is going on, you know? Solo, we are like in empty venues with happy if the bar personnel enjoys it, and together we actually have some sort of success. Yeah. So from there we tried some more, and we had like a whole EP ready in a month, and we actually got message from labels asking us to make music for them instead of us sending our demos. So it all went really fast from there, and less than a year later we were touring the US and Australia.
Yeah. It was crazy, man.
And what did you hear in his sound the first time on that day? What did you hear in his?
It was very energetic. I mean, I had this groove and he had this very energetic sounds, and I was missing this energy in my own tracks. But I had the groove kind of thing because I really love funk and groovy kind of music, and he was missing that out in his own music. So
I was missing the funk in my set, basically.
Yeah. So then we decided, let's make a track together, and then we made like a funky banger kind of thing.
I remember exactly what I made. I made like the bass line and the hi-hat, and you came with like the funky snares, and I was like, damn, how do you do that?
Yeah. And I showed him, and he was like, whoa, that's amazing. And then he showed him his bass lines and his producing style, and I was like, whoa, that's fucking amazing.
I showed you the bassline track.
Yeah. And then we learned from each other.
If we fast forward to now, then do you still have those kind of areas of expertise that you will work on, and then?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. He is the mixdown king.
Okay.
He's like the mastering king.
I'm not a king. That's a high title.
No, but for me.
Yeah,
for
true. Yeah, or you're just really bad at mixing.
But I agree. I really suck at mixdown, but I'm more like a sketch type of guy. I just make like 10 sketches, and then if you hear something in these 10 sketches, then we make a track out of it together.
Yeah, that's basically how it's been for the last 2 years. He just sits in his home studio making like all these kind of weird experimental things. And for me it's difficult to start on something new, so I listen all his stuff and then I hear like this one bassline element and I'm like, oh damn, take that. So I'll work from there and I'll build a whole track out of it. Then he jumps in again, adds all his crazy things, and then I'll make the mix down, and that's basically how we've been doing the past 5 releases or something, I would say, yeah.
And you mentioned you already had this kind of feeling with the first track that you worked on together. If you listen to it now, I don't know if you ever do, but if you listen to it now, what do you hear?
I did actually a few months ago.
Yeah, me too.
That's cool.
On like a throwback Thursday kind of thing.
Yeah.
What kind of music did we make back then? Yeah, I always see these two ignorant guys from our hometown, just hooking up together and making these weird noises together, you know. And yeah.
But it's still kind of, the track makes sense. Still.
Yeah, true. It does.
It's still logic in a way. I mean, it was a lot of weird stuff. We just did whatever. We had no idea what we were doing. Like literally no idea. The mixing was super bad, and some samples were super random in there. But still, the track itself made sense. And if I would hear it today, I would still be like, if it wasn't my track and I would hear it, I would be like, yeah, it's cool, you know. Yeah.
And if you, well, you say then it kind of took off. Labels came to you to make music, and you began touring all over the world. Did your approach, because of all of that, did your approach to the music change? Did you have to change your styles in a way? Not styles, but the way you worked? Did you have to change that?
No, not really. There is more pressure on it, but it's still it's still fun to make music. That's
a little changed. I mean, it makes sense. And we got more DJ experience, and we heard more music, so we kind of learned the tricks and ins and outs instead of the random shit we used to do. We had tracks like 6 minutes long with 5 build-ups and weird drops, and it made no sense in a way. So we really learned how to make a complete and market-fulfilling product. And that's the thing that sort of changed, but not in a bad way. It only made us better than we were before.
And then you say you both were DJs before, so when you start on a track, do you think about how it will sound in the audience as being when it's played live?
I always have this one rule. If I can't dance to it myself, then people won't dance to it. I mean, we really have to have this type of thing going on behind our studios as well. So
yeah, it has to feel like a party in the studio.
Yeah, it has to feel like a party in the studio, and we're always like, oh, check out this bass line, whoa, people are gonna notice it.
Yeah, just screaming.
Yeah, if we don't have that factor in our tracks, then we won't bring it out or we won't work on it.
Yeah, there's so much music just in the trash can that we made that didn't have the impact on us, and it has to feel like a dance floor in our studio.
Yeah, it might sound good today, but it maybe sucks tomorrow. So we have to be 100% like.
I think the way we produce is really DJ based. We always think in DJ tools instead of in radio success, and I think that's also the reason why we have a crazy amount of support from DJs, but not a lot of airplay, because they're not made for radio, but for the DJs.
Because is this a thing? Because obviously electronic music has gotten very big in the last couple of years. So is this a thing that you have to be aware of? That you on the one side have certain elements that you need if you want to be played on the radio, but then you have your own creative input. So is that difficult to balance?
For us it is, because we really focus on the dance floor and only on the dance floor. We make a super big build-up that's not radio appropriate at all, because people in the car, they don't want like the big build-up and all the crazy stuff that we like to put in our tracks. Yeah. But if you're on a dance floor, it works like a charm. Yeah. So I think we really produce in the direction of the DJ so much that it's kind of impossible for a radio to play our tracks even if they would like it. And there are a lot of producers who really found the balance in between those things. But For us, I don't know. It's really difficult for both of us to set our minds to radio tracks.
Yeah.
It's not limiting your creative process, but it's a different process, and we're really used to our own kind of way. Like we make the party track, and we want to get the party going in our studio and feel the drop, and make it more heavy. And, it's not heavy enough, and more crazy stuff, and really don't pay attention at all if it would be suitable for any radio station.
Because in that way, do you care about certain, like the Beatport Top 10 or things like that? Is that an issue, or is that something you think about, or it's just I want to make what I make? And
well, there was this time where I really used to take notice, like every day. Okay, what's on the Beatport Top 10 or Top 100, and watch it every day. But nowadays I really don't care anymore because there's so much good music coming out, even for free, like on SoundCloud or DJs giving it away for free on their Facebook and stuff. That's what I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I agree.
And then finally, is there a track you're working on now where you had that feeling that you can see it now, how it's gonna work live and it's gonna be?
Yeah. All the latest tracks that we've been working on at the process, and we're now in the finalizing stages of a new track, and really, whenever we hear it, it gives us so much energy, so we're super happy with it, and it just needs the final touches to, I don't know, basically destroy the clubs. It's as well purely made to just destroy clubs, and that's it. It got like the whole Mightyfools club destroyer formula, which we sort of developed over the years.
What started that song? That track?
Foodrocker was a track we did in 2013, which got that went really big. Like it got a release on Hardwell's Revealed Records, right at the point that Hardwell exploded, and it was an ID track in his Ultra set, which was the Ultra set that made him famous and made him be the #1 DJ. So everybody was looking for that one track, and when it got out, it had like a huge crowd response. Yeah. And that was the first track that we basically made without any rules whatsoever, not thinking at all about Beatport charts or any charts. And that worked really good. So it was like, whoa, this is the way to go for us. Because the track doesn't have an intro, it starts right in a build-up, and it builds up for a full minute, and then it drops straight away in like the full drop. And for a DJ it's perfect because he can just play the track whenever he wants, and it starts building up, and it takes his set to another level basically. And that's how Hardwell played it as well. And ever since then we never really think of intro, break, drop, another break, outro. We just think in build up, drop, build up, drop, and
music to destroy clubs.
Yeah, and that really got like a sort of a signature thing for us, and people started recognizing it. Like a year later, all our tracks had like the kind of the same vibe, not like a copy paste thing, but the style of building up without an intro, and everybody was like, oh yeah, that's so cool, the Mightyfools thing. And then a few months later we hear other people doing the same trick. Well, that's all good. I mean, it means that we did something special for the time. So. Yeah.
And do you have a title for the upcoming track?
Not really. It's right now it's like random keyboard type thing. And then it's underscore version 12, underscore version 25, and we play that and see if it works and change a bit. And the track usually lasts like 3 months before we finalize it. Just testing it on the road. Going back in our home studio, thinking of something different, adjusting it to it's like a finished product, because once the track is finished you can never change it anymore. Yeah. So we try to not finish it as long as possible to be able to make adjustments to it.
It's got to be perfect.
Exactly.
For us.
And timeless.
Yeah, and timeless as well.
Thank you very much for your time.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.